We're on to Dr. Larry Present, and this guy is amazing. He has been part of the LifeWave family, I think, from early on, but we'll let him share that with us. But he's a vascular surgeon. And so I remember sometimes thinking to myself on the journey with the patches when people would say, "Hey, Renita, my spider veins seem like they're getting better." Well, I bet Dr. Larry knows why that is, right? And so we are so honored to have you on today. Welcome to this. And tell us a little bit about your journey with LifeWave. I mean, why are you, as a vascular surgeon, which is such a powerful position to be as a doctor, why were you even open to this?
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure being with you this morning. Um, I finished my surgery training in 1986, and for the past 30 years, I've been devoted towards treating varicose veins. And when I found out about the LifeWave patch, I did a lot of research because I was initially skeptical. But in our practice, we had used phototherapy for a couple of decades, so I was very familiar with it, familiar with the dose response and many aspects of it. But what I wasn't really familiar with was the ability to increase copper peptide and what copper peptide does. And Dr. Laurent Picard has done a tremendous amount of research on the reactivation of collagen production. So when this idea was shared with me by Steve and Gina Merritt, um, I started using it in my practice and suggesting to patients that increasing the amount of collagen production being deposited in the vein walls would strengthen and thicken the vein walls, making spider veins less visible, strengthening veins to make them less resistant to becoming varicose, and also work on the arteries in the body in order to strengthen them to prevent heart attacks and strokes. So, this is a really fascinating area where we can actually help people without surgery, without drugs. And so I was very, very excited about it. And as I recommended it to patients, I started getting calls from people, lots of calls, blessing me, which was surprising because people were experiencing improvements in their health in many other areas. And so it just motivated me to try to share this with as many people as possible. And I feel like I'm on a mission to try to share this with everyone.
Wow. We call it our miracle inbox.
Yeah.
So we know exactly what you're talking about. Because when we had those phone calls, text messages, emails, we're like, this is too powerful and too amazing not to share. We've got to tell the others, right?
And you're experiencing, all these benefits, and it's more than just income, it's a mission. I must say it's extremely humbling for both Renita and myself to be on this call to interview, you, Dr. Larry. I mean, obviously such expertise in literally saving lives, and your knowledge on the cardiovascular system and the veins and the arteries, is so profound. Why would medical professionals like you be interested in this opportunity from an income stream standpoint?
Well, nowadays, a lot of medical professionals are employees. And so they're subject to what the corporations dictate. And if they don't toe the line, their jobs could be at risk. And there's a lot of doctors that are looking for an exit strategy. They may not have a pension. If they don't do what Big Pharma wants them to do, they could lose their licenses. So it's become very, very risky. So the job security and financial security aspect are significant. But as I've analyzed and spoken to many medical professionals, what I found is that if you try to flood them with the logic and all the wonderful things that the patch does up front, you're not going to be successful. Decisions, the way the mind works, is decisions are made based on emotion. And you first have to increase the emotional certainty and then use logic to back that up. And I think a great example is with both of you. Renita is absolutely captivating with her enthusiasm. And then Scott backs it up with the logic, you know. So it's a 1-2 punch.
Yeah, it is. I love that. And you know what? People are searching for a solution for their finances too. Let's just say it just plainly, because I know so many searching for solutions for health because this is what we do. But like you're saying, I mean, all of these medical professionals, all of these people that maybe are trying to find a plan B or additional revenue, or maybe even climbing out of the system like Dr. Rachel did to something different, right? I think we have to be open to these people. We have to be entertaining these conversations. I love your advice not to get too, analytical on the front end, make it more, you have to emotionally sell them. We got started and I'm as much as excitable as I am, I do like research. And so when I first started, I'm actually thankful that I didn't know all the research and I just saw the immediate response with my dad and my mom. It was about on the 11th day, but that increased my belief enough for me to say, okay, what is the mechanism of action? How is this patch working? Right. So it was like, you're right. That emotional, belief came over me where I was like, this is working and I better figure out how. Right. And so I appreciate that so much.
And Dr. Lauren Picard, right? I mean, one of the first books that we read was understanding the GHKC copper peptide. And so as you mentioned, that professional, that was a valuable resource to us as well.
You had a meeting with us in Arizona. Am I right?
Yes.
You were, yeah. And
some
lady was up there talking about how, apparently, seemingly, her varicose veins and her spider veins had gotten incredibly improved. And we were all like clapping for her. And then I love Dr. Laurie. He goes, well, let me just tell you why that's happening. So I always think teamwork makes the dream work. It's powerful that we can utilize one another. We're only as powerful as the weakest person in the room. And guess what? We're all strong. So when you get us all together, it's like we're a superpower of knowledge to bless and serve others. And so we're so grateful for your knowledge that you bring to this team. This is a team, right? Okay, so quick question. What's wrong with just treating symptoms? What's wrong with that mindset?
Well, symptoms really aren't the cause of disease. And we are all conditioned to treating symptoms. You've got a symptom, we've got a pill for that. And, if you look at a lot of the studies that have been done on pills, let's say, if you really read them carefully, they'll put pills on the market, let's say, if the study is 70% effective. I've even some go as low as 52% effective. Okay. So, you don't know if you're going to be in that successful portion. So why not try an out-of-the-box therapy like the X39 patch, okay? Because it's simple, it's affordable, it's transportable, it's concealable. You can wear it every single day, and it's a hit or miss with regular therapy.
Really love, thanks for sharing that, Dr. Larry. I love also that, people in your profession are trained so specifically to notice and diagnose symptoms and then just administer medicine. So in this case, you can talk a little bit more about root cause, and kind of get to, the foundation of wellness and health and optimizing wellness and health through some of our products, right? So, I think it's such an amazing, opportunity for all of us.
Yeah, I feel like everybody's coming back online though, because I think people are tired of matching the pill to the ill.
That's right.
They're sick of that.
Mm-hmm.
Because then what happens is there's 1 to 3 side effects from every medication you're on. And when you compound that, polypharmacy is real. And I don't think people understand that. They're not studying how these 5 drugs together are interacting with the chemicals, makeup of your body, right? Dr. Larry, so I love something like the patch that's non-invasive. I love how you said it's portable, right? Like we can take it with us wherever we go, and it's so easy to use. And again, there's a 30-day money back guarantee. So if it doesn't work, get your money back. But we can almost guarantee in our experience that it's working on something. Even if you can't see it or feel it yet, something is changing in the body. And so we're so thankful for that. So final question we have, is lifestyle modification necessary for the best results here? Or can we just put a patch on and keep eating fast food and drinking whiskey every night?
Well, from what we've learned, about how the patch works, one of the things that's been published in some of the studies, summarized by Dr. Picard, actually, is upregulation of genes.
Wow.
And our genes switch on, they switch off, and they actually talk to each other. And they're important because they code for the production of proteins in the body. And lifestyle has a very, very big effect on the function of genes. It's called epigenetics. And so if you have a terrible lifestyle, you eat processed foods, you don't exercise, you don't get sunlight, it's going to have a negative effect on the body as a whole. So lifestyle is extremely important. It goes hand in hand, and it's very, very essential to be successful, with any kind of health technology that you have. And the patch has been shown to work much, much better if you drink enough water, if you have a healthy lifestyle, if you get the appropriate supplements that are the building blocks of the proteins that this patch is trying to create. So yes, very, very important.
Can anybody else relate to this? If you're on this call, when you do something simple that seems to benefit you, it makes you want to do other simple things. So like, putting this patch on every single morning, right? I mean, it motivates, and you're starting to notice some benefits like I did. It motivates you to drink some more water, to go for that walk, to reach for the healthy, food instead. So really adjunctively and kind of complementing other healthy lifestyle modifications, is wonderful.
Scott's lost 100 pounds, Dr. Larry. So that hasn't been just the patch alone, right? But it was the stimulus. I'll say that. Because prior to that, he was not losing any weight and he was actually trying. And so something with the technology of that patch, maybe it was like you said, resetting of 1/3 of that genes, upregulating what needed to be upregulating and downregulating what needed to be downregulated. But when he put it on, it changed his life. And when he saw some immediate gains, like you said, Scott, it propelled him to want to do more. So you don't have to be perfect out of the gates to wear the patch, but it's interesting how when, like Scott said, you do something healthy for you and you start to feel better, you're like, what else can I do? Right? It's certainly a victory. Well, you are a blessing, and we will welcome you at any event wherever we're at, because when Dr. Larry raises his hand, he says, I'm a vascular surgeon. Let me tell you why that's happening. The whole credibility of the room just goes through the roof, and we're just so honored to be partnered with you. So thank you so much. And give your beautiful wife a hug from us.
Thanks, Dr. Larry.
Okay.